Hi there, welcome back on the channel. As you can see, the good weather is back and of course we have a new presentation here for you today. It's one of the most sold vehicles, at least in Europe and here in Romania as well. It's the Skoda Octavia from 2023 with about 55,000 kilometers on the clock. And I said that it's a quite common configuration, not necessarily in terms of the appearance here in Romania, because it's the Combi Octavia, and most likely you see them as sedans or sort of a hatchback, because they do open the trunk even on the sedan form with the rear window, so they're technically a hatchback. But anyway, in terms of the configuration, I said it's quite common because it's the 2-liter diesel engine coupled with the DSG gearbox with 7 gears, and the power goes to the front wheels only. The whole output, yeah, it's about 150 horsepower and something like 360 Newton meters. To get through the whole specs of the car, the sprint happens in about 8.8 seconds and the top speed is limited to 220 kilometers per hour. Not important, obviously. In this type of vehicle, the main aspects are the space, the comfort, and also the running costs. And in that regard, yeah, it's sort of a nice surprise, considering that the car weighs almost 1.5 tons. The average consumption is at around 5.5 liters, which, in my opinion, it's alright. Yeah, you could get something like that from a hybrid nowadays, but still, for long trips, for going outside the city, this diesel still manages pretty good. As I was talking about the space inside the car, let's check out the trunk area. We do have an electrical tailgate, which is quite a nice feature. And also this load cover goes away by pressing on it twice, which is again something better than the typical load cover that you would otherwise see in Combi variants or estates. And as you can see, we have the usual carry-on luggage, which is kind of petite in here. I reckon you can fit about 8 carry-on luggages like this one, especially as this one does have the adaptive floor. And also, let me show you, underneath there's some additional space with a full spare tire, which again, something nice to see nowadays. And you also get some pockets on either side of the trunk area with these dividers from Skoda. Some hooks for your shopping bags, and the ability to lower the back seats from back here. Let's check out the back seats with an useful opening in terms of the rear door, and some interesting design, but with some questionable materials, especially here on the handle, but at least on the armrest you do have some soft material. You also have some pockets on the back of the front chairs, a third climate unit actually with some USB-Cs, a central armrest, which is a bit hard to get out, but anyway, it does house a couple of cup holders. And also you have some light fixtures in the ceiling. This is the space back here. As you can see, I do have more than enough space for my knees and also for my head as well. And yeah, all in all, you do have some creature comfort here and there. The plastics are a bit cheap, but anyway, it's not a premium car, so it's something to be expected. I can also stretch under the front chair, but as usual, I have the same complaint. The seat bench is a bit shallow. I would have liked it to be more towards my knees, but As always, you will not get them all. On the front part of the car, the materials are a bit better. You do get some soft plastics up here and also on the armrest, but the handle itself is still quite brittle. Anyway, we have some door seals with a logo, and also the seats, yeah, are alright, sort of supportive with some lumbar support, even though it's manual. All of the controls actually are manual. You could only lift the chair, and you also get a cabin space in here. The door closing sound is quite decent actually, and you do get a lot of space, about a palm of space for my knees. Obviously, yeah, the materials are not gonna be amazing in here, but at least the center console is quite low, so I can rest my knee without getting hurt. And also the glove box, it's quite deep with an additional cabin here, but it's only covered on one side. Anyway, obviously on the driver's side you get some additional controls for the electric windows and outside mirrors, plus the ability to open the trunk area. The seat itself is identical with the one on the passenger side, and we also get the light fixtures, the light controls in here, and an additional cubby, which is once again covered on one side. Let me actually just start the car. And this is a driver POV. Interesting enough, as you can see, you get the same steering wheel like you would get on the VRS or Sportline model, with some perforated leather, with some paddle shifters for the gearbox, physical buttons for the multimedia and the heated steering wheel, and this part controls the display, the gauge cluster, and also part of the cruise control. The rest of it is on this lever. You also get usual stocks from VW Group, and the gauge cluster is all digital. It does show you the oil temperature, which is nice to see, and you can actually set it the way you like it. You could also have the map between those gauges, or can use it in full map view. It's alright for the most part. Going further with the interior, you do get a sunglass holder, which is something quite rare nowadays. The light fixtures and a dimmable mirror, which does have sort of a small frame. The infotainment, yeah, it's not amazing. It's alright for the most part, and you could actually see the consumption of the car. It's 6.5 liters, and from fueling 5.6 for about 400 kilometers. So, as I said, it's alright. The main downside is, except the ornament here on the dashboard, is the fact that you control the climate unit also through this display. You do get some physical controls here, but they are sort of some hotkeys or something like that. Then you will get a wireless charger, a couple of USB-Cs. From here you control the gearbox, and it does have a park button, the parking brake, auto hold function, a slot for the key, and also a couple of cup holders that are adjustable. Oh, and also another cubby inside the armrest. Welcome to the driving part of the review. Today with the Octavia with a diesel engine. Yeah, I know, in 2025 I still found sort of a modern diesel, being from 2023 the model, so yeah, interesting. We are already outside the city. I drove the car for a moment because in my opinion at least this is the way that you should use this vehicle, and especially in this configuration, because yeah, nowadays, come on, diesels don't belong anymore inside the cities. They don't like it inside the cities, so yeah. But getting back to the car, in my opinion, it's an interesting mix, sort of a surprise, and in some areas something to be expected, because it's actually quite a easy car to use, easy to adapt to. It does have some assistance system, some technology, but it's not overwhelming. The build quality, it's more than fine. It was a joke here in Romania that if you don't have the money for VW Passat, you will buy a Skoda Octavia. And nowadays the VW kind of goes towards premium brand, or at least with some models. And actually that's the same case for the Skoda. This one, don't forget, it's only a compact vehicle in Europe, but even so, it does offer quite a lot for the money, a lot of space, nevertheless, and yeah, if you ask me, also the price seems to go towards the premium section of the market. But anyway, so yeah, for the most part, it's an alright vehicle. The steering feel is quite light, the pedals are easy to operate, the gearbox is nearly non-existent, you don't really feel anything. Even though it's not the case to expect some marvelous performance from this engine, I will do a sprint, the usual one, when you want to get back on the main road. But until then, I'm gonna go through the things that, damn, that was a big pothole. I'm gonna go through the things that I enjoyed while reviewing the car, and the things that I'm not necessarily a fan of. And yeah, the first thing is the ride quality inside the car, because it was something that I was expecting, but in a way that actually manages to surprise me. It's comfortable enough. The suspension sometimes feels a bit rough, especially if you do get a pothole like that one. It does feel a bit firm, and that was the surprise for me, because the car overall seems a bit more sporty than it should, considering that it's not a sport line, it's not a RS model, and it's the Combi variant. So yeah, I was not expecting that. Also, I like the noise levels inside the cabin. It's quite a well-insulated car, and some of the technology inside, for a sort of a budget offering, which used to be Skoda, the equipment level, it's alright in here. Yeah, you could go for the adaptive dampers if you would like a bit more comfort, but it depends on your budget, obviously. Actually, being quite a light car, also the brakes feel it's quite interesting. Now let's check out the sprint. That was it. As I said, it's not amazing. It's not necessarily the strong point of the configuration, but for most people, it's gonna be more than fine. We don't get driving mode or anything like that. You could also just switch the gearbox from drive to sport, and that's pretty much it. So going back to the things that I did not enjoy while reviewing the car, the first thing is the infotainment screen, because at startup it's a bit laggy and not necessarily something pleasant to use. And also, I'm not a fan of the decor elements inside the car, especially on the central console. You do get a lot of piano black, which does collect dust, fingerprints, especially here in the infotainment area. If you rest your palm on the ornament to use the screen, it's gonna get a lot of grease on it. It also has the same material here on the central console where the gear selector is, which again I'm not a fan of. And also I do have some problems with the reflective materials on the door card and on the central console, because they do reflect quite a lot of sun. So yeah, I would probably look out to switch them when configuring the car, or at least have them wrapped when if you already got the car and this is the configuration. So yeah, but those are actually the things that I'm not necessarily a fan of, because otherwise, as I said, the car, it's on par with something that you should expect from this brand and from this class of vehicles. It's spacious, it's comfortable for the most part, as I said, easy to use. So yeah, not really much to complain about, obviously. There, it felt a bit firm once again. It was a small pothole, but anyway. In terms of consumptions, yeah, I went only outside the city at a steady pace, and it shows me 4 liters per 100 kilometers. So again, it's all right. It's quite decent. Let's see, other than that, I should talk about the maintenance for a moment. Being a diesel engine, you are not supposed to use it inside the city, obviously, but if you do, maybe try to do the regular maintenance at around 6,000 to 7,000 kilometers. Especially as if you can see the gauge cluster, the oil temperature is almost at around 100 degrees, even though I've been driving it constantly at around 80 kilometers per hour. So in my opinion, it runs quite hot. So yeah, even outside the city, I would not go over 10,000 kilometers between oil changes. Other than that, you also have to maintain the gearbox at around 50,000 kilometers. Maybe less if you're using the car inside the city. But that's pretty much it, because being quite a light vehicle, as I said, it will not require any additional costs in terms of I don't know, brakes or tires or even suspension components. So yeah, interesting. And I'm looking at a Fisker Ocean. Nice to see something like that here in Romania. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, going back to the review, I almost forgot to mention that we do have 17 inches in terms of the rims, so they're almost the smallest size that you can get on Octavia. So yeah, as I said, the whole cost of ownership should actually be pretty low and on par with the things that you would otherwise expect from a compact vehicle. So yeah, this is actually my conclusion. This is quite possibly one of the best family cars that you could buy, especially if you use it correctly, if you use it outside the city for longer trips. It's not perfect, obviously, but you could make it almost perfect if you have the budget for it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider liking it and also subscribing to the channel. And more so, I would appreciate a comment from you in the comment section to leave your impression on the vehicle, the model, or even to tell us about your experience if you own something like this. That's pretty much it. Until next time, thank you for watching.